Hello! So my friends and family ask me these questions all the time about my job. I have a very interesting job, a very fun job, a very rewarding job, a very taxing job, a very taxing job, but a very rewarding job nonetheless. And I feel like this job is a very misunderstood job. People don't really understand exactly what goes on in the daily life of a flight attendant, so that's what I'm here today to kind of talk about, how it works, the process, how you get into it, what it's like to kind of go through your entire life with this kind of job. So first and foremost, for those who don't know, hi, I'm Tyler. I've been kind of a part of the aviation industry for a very long time. I would virtually say my entire life. And so I think I have a pretty good insight about what this job is like and what it entails and what it takes to be a flight attendant. And that's what I'm here to share today. The first thing I want to discuss today is the common misconception that flight attendants can fly wherever, whenever, for free. Now this is somewhat true, not exactly, not 100%. So the fact of the matter is flight attendants can virtually fly wherever, but you still have to pay taxes. Now, especially when you're flying internationally, these taxes can vary greatly. Some countries are a lot cheaper to fly to and from than others. Like for example, the United Kingdom, very, very expensive. But a country like Mexico, not so expensive. Now that being said, some airlines, depending on which airline you work for, may charge you even more to fly first class, or it might be the same price, it depends on the airline. My airline, for example, I can fly free within the United States. However, I cannot fly first class for free. That is an extra cost you're gonna have to take on. So the next thing a lot of people ask me about is what is the hiring process like to become a flight attendant? What is the interview like? What do you have to do to become a flight attendant? Well, first and foremost, I would say that if you have a great personality, you love to work with people, and you're okay with kind of strenuous conditions, you're probably set to be a flight attendant. It really does not take a miracle. It's a job for everyday people, people that love to work with others. The interview process really varies depending on the airline. I mean, some airlines have a very short interview process, and some airlines have an interview process that literally takes all day. It just depends, but they'll usually fly you out to the destination where you're interviewing. You go through the interview, you usually meet up with a lot of other people, you gotta get to network and kind of show off your personality, and then you go from there. If they like you, they'll offer you a conditional job offer. If they don't, try again next time. Usually there's like a window, so if you don't make it the first time, definitely try again, because there is a period of time where you have to wait, but apply again, do it again, kind of figure out, find your niche, kind of figure out who you are as a person and how you can best show your personality and how well you work with others is one of the biggest things. Oh, and don't forget to smile. You need to smile the entire time. Show that you're a friendly person and that you have good people skills. One of the next biggest misconceptions about being a flight attendant is the training process. Now, when you get on a plane, you probably think that your flight attendant is there to close the door, serve you Coke and snacks, and just kind of be there to be a friendly, beautiful face. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The training process usually varies from about 6 to 8 weeks. It's very strenuous, a lot of tests, heavy content, a lot of content. The training is really a way to prove that you're good on your feet, that you have good situational awareness, and that you're able to adapt to situations as they come to you. The aviation industry changed a lot post 9/11, and that means that a lot of responsibility falls on the flight attendants, that we have a very important job up there. To quote a recent testimony from a flight attendant, "We are aviation's first responders in the sky, and we are the last line of defense." And that is something that we take very seriously as flight attendants. And if you ever think about becoming a flight attendant, remember that first and foremost, it's a safety heavy job. It is a job that is very security heavy, safety heavy, and a very big responsibility. And that is a really important thing to remember if you want to become a flight attendant, is that it's not just passing out snacks and Cokes and just kind of enjoying traveling. It is also a huge responsibility to make sure that your passengers get from point A to point B as safe as possible. Now, all that being said, at the end of your 6 to 8 weeks, however long it is, at the end of this very long, strenuous training process, when you get those wings pinned on your chest, it is the most amazing emotional experience. I mean, you're really setting yourself up for the rest of your life for such an amazing career. And when I had my wings pinned, I was holding back tears like crazy because I knew my mom was sitting there in the audience filming me, and I didn't want to look like a baby crying like crazy. And oh, but it was so emotional. I mean, you really go through that experience with your classmates, and it's such a rewarding and amazing thing. So if you are planning to become a flight attendant, or if you are in training right now, work hard, stay at it, study hard, and remember that the reward is so great, and that the responsibility and the payoff after that is so worth it. All right, sorry I zoomed the camera out a little bit, just so it's a little bit better angled. All right, so another kind of misconception about flight attendants is that it is a glamorous job. You get glammed up, wear your pretty ascot, wear your pretty suit and tie, and that you look good all day. You have to remember that as a flight attendant, we see it all. Delays, cancellations, weather, turbulence. It all comes at us, and it comes at us whether we like it or not. And you might get stuck places, you might have to overnight in destinations you didn't plan on. Your suitcase literally has to be ready for every type of weather, every type of scenario, because the fact of the matter is you don't know where you're ending up at the end of the day. Unfortunately, it's not just fly to Paris and then fly home and collect a paycheck. I wish it were that way. It can be that way, but you pretty much have to have super seniority for it to be like that. No, but when you first start out, it's definitely a lot of adjusting to such a crazy new lifestyle. It's unlike any other job. If you're coming into this thinking it's gonna be 9 to 5 and you're gonna see your family all the time, that is most likely not gonna be the case. More than likely, it's gonna be sometimes getting a call at 3 in the morning saying you need to be at the airport and you're going to a destination that you've never heard of before. Maybe you're going, I don't know, to New Mexico, or you're going to Canada and you've never been there. You don't know what to expect, you don't know what the passengers are gonna be like, but it's your job and you need to get up, put on a smile, and just go do it. This can be a bit of an adjustment. I definitely understand that. For me, it's been crazy kind of getting used to the fact that I'm not really in charge of my life right now. The airline is in charge of my life. And it's so interesting and rewarding, and I love waking up every day thinking, okay, where am I gonna go to next? But that's definitely something to mentally prepare yourself for, especially if you have to move away. Chances are that you're not gonna get based where you live. If you live in a major hub of your airline, that's a good possibility, but at the same time, chances are they're gonna move you out somewhere different. So for example, I'm from New Mexico, and I had to move to Chicago, Illinois. Now that was on the top of my list, but I mean, that is so far away from home. Chicago and Albuquerque are two very, very different cities. And so that was definitely a big adjustment. It still is. Like yesterday, it was negative 22 degrees outside. And yet in Albuquerque, it's like 50 degrees right now and people are wearing light jackets, kind of chilling. So that's something you have to be ready for. And I haven't seen my family in 2 months and I would love to see them again, but it's very complicated sometimes with this job. I mean, I would love to go back on my days off, but sometimes I want to pick up trips on my days off, or sometimes I just want to relax on my days off and not necessarily travel. So this is something you definitely have to decipher in your brain. Is it worth it? Is this something that I'm really mentally prepared for? Flight attendants are very supportive. If you need help from other flight attendants, then definitely ask for it, because flight attendants are some of the nicest, coolest people I've ever met. They're very used to such a crazy job and they're definitely used to the stress of it, so it's been a crazy few months. So apart from all the crazy possibilities of delays, cancellations, bad weather, more often than not, it's basically just get on your plane, serve your passengers with a smile, and have a great time, and then wake up in a new destination. It really is the most amazing job that I could have asked for, and the opportunities, the people you get to meet, the experiences, all makes it worth it 100%, and I could not be happier with my job. I mean, honestly, when I'm walking down that aisle, even if it is 9 times out of 10 just serving Coke, snacks, and just getting to know people, that is the excitement of this job, and that is the reason we do this. No matter what airline you work for, it's all pretty much the same. It's very similar, the service style. That's why we do this. That's why we keep coming back. That's why we put up with the weather and the crazy long training and the intense information. We love creating a community in the sky. I think my favorite memory so far is I was flying and I had a lady who was terrified of flying. She was so afraid. She'd never really been on a plane before, and she still had a connection to go even after I left her. Honestly, your pilots are amazing. Like, these guys and gals, they really know how to fly these aircraft, and they impress me every single day, because there are some days I wouldn't even step foot outside, let alone in a plane flying through the sky. But I had this lady, she would ask me every 5 seconds, is this normal? Like, is this okay? You know, and she didn't really speak very much English, and I really felt such a great, awesome responsibility to just kind of reassure her that this is everyday life, everything is okay, and to just look out the window and enjoy it, because this is definitely something you don't see every day. The city from 40,000 feet, or the sky, or, you know, flying over major cities from that high and just seeing, they look so small and yet it's a massive mega city. It's really nice to kind of have that responsibility over passengers and being able to kind of help them enjoy the experience, because I know traveling can be so stressful. So that's my favorite experience so far. Some of the cool destinations I've gotten to fly to so far, I got to spend the night in Canada. If you've seen one of my earlier videos, that was my very first layover ever, was in Calgary, Canada. We rented a car and went up to Lake Louise, and there was an ice castle, and I never would have expected this to be my very first layover. I thought I would end up somewhere a little less beautiful. That wasn't the case. I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to Germany, I've been all over the place, and it's just so amazing. The world feels so more accessible. Already met so many amazing people that have changed my life, so I'm very excited for this opportunity. I'm very excited to continue making the skies a friendly place. Alright guys, I think that just about sums up what I wanted to say today. I just kind of wanted to talk about my job. I know that a lot of people don't really hear a lot from flight attendants. To be 100% honest with you, before I became a flight attendant, I think I maybe knew a small handful of people that were actually flight attendants. They really just kind of come and go. never really see them very often. And if you are thinking about becoming a flight attendant, do it. Just go, do the interview. I had a completely different life track going, and I completely changed all of my plans to do this, and I could not be happier. If this really is a lifestyle that you think might be for you, I highly recommend it. Get to that interview, put on your prettiest smile, show the people that you love to work with others. Alrighty, have a good time. I will take you on my next adventure. We'll see where it ends me up. And don't forget to subscribe, like my videos, and have a good rest of your day. Peace.